Hi there, this is Kathy Crow at the Crow Cottage. It is so nice to see you. Thank you for joining me. Almost the 4th of July. I'm very excited about that because it is 250 years for our nation. And wow, what a wonderful celebrations going on all over the place. There have been so many things that have been happening. And I'm really thinking Jeff and I might get out. We have so many fireworks in our neighborhood anyway on the 4th that we usually don't even go anywhere anymore. Other than to a parade. So anyhow, we'll see. I see I'm doing a little better. I must have rubbed my face or something, and I am red because it is hot here. Shoot, it is really pretty warm. Actually, today's better than it has been the last couple of days, much better. But I'm dashing in and out getting the water going because we had so much water for 2 weeks in the form of rain. So much rain. It was wonderful. But now the plants are like, what happened? And it's hot. Today, I am doing something very not 4th of July. Normally, I do a 4th of July thing, and I was planning to, but actually, it kind of came and went as far as prepping for all of that, and I don't know. I use that Service Essentials. It's a great stamp set. I sure hope people are buying it. I love it. It's a great stamp set, and we don't even have any military or, police or anything like that in our family, but we do know a bunch of people, so I'm using it, and I'm really grateful to get it because it doesn't have, a lot of the ones we've had in the past have been too cutesy. I'm mostly sending these to men, so I don't want to, anyway. But because I did that, I don't know, I don't know, I think maybe I just wasn't in the mood so much. But today we are going to do Fern Flora. This is a beautiful set. In fact, the whole thing, I didn't get out the paper. What was I thinking? I'm going to have to get up in there, up behind me, and drag some of that out because we are going to be using it. It's too pretty. And so I put it in my box with wild ferns because I kind of put this off buying for a while because I really love my wild ferns. They're beautiful. But when I got the box out to see, do I really need any more ferns? The dies. Oh, you gotta get this for the dies. So I'm gonna flip this over. I'm gonna show you some embossing because it comes with an embossing folder. So I wanna make sure I show you the technique I used on on 2 of the cards that you will see in my newsletter next week. And make sure you've signed up for that if you're interested. And here we go, okay? Now, Jeff, I keep hitting finish when I actually mean to hit. I think they must have used to have had the flip on that side because that is not the first time I've done that. It's like, no, thankfully they have a cancel button on there, or I'd be really up a creek. Okay, so let me go. You can look at my cards here for just a minute, and then I am going to find myself over here on Facebook World. And then we can get going on this. Today, this is going to be pretty quick today, just even though I've got a lot of cards, I'm only showing you a couple of techniques. Probably it is not going to be too long today, and I hope that helps you too, because everybody is going to be ready to enjoy the 4th. And I think a lot of baking is going on, like a lot of cleaning, a lot of all kinds of things. Fern Flora is a wonderful set because of just about everything that's in there. Now let me find the pack of paper that's behind me. I had out my Lily one, the Lily of the Valley one for last week, and I do prefer the Lily of the Valley one, but having said that, this comes in as a close second. The colors, when I saw it in the catalog and online, I wasn't thrilled. But when I got it in person, I love it. But having said that, okay, there's some things about this. Like these big sheets that Stampin' Up has been putting in actually all along. It's just I think we're doing a few more because we're doing so many more scrapbooking things. And I do actually really appreciate that because... Let me get my light going a little better here, up higher. I do really appreciate that because I have to kind of watch my video to see, am I in the frame? Because I think I'm off just a little bit. I think I'm finally getting this straightened out a little bit better, so that's good. These big pages I like to do for bags because I don't do scrapbooking, but it's very tempting. Every time I see these big giant pages, I'm more tempted. But on the other hand, it does make it easier for me to just use the other side of the paper too and not worry about it so much. But anyhow, the colors, so pretty. So pretty. Ooh, that one's really nice. And what else do we have in here? I know there's a bunch, so let me pull it all out here. I showed that one. I don't know if you saw that one. That one's really pretty. But this one is my favorite one. I have used it quite a bit already. So I love this pop of what I think is supposed to be Timid Tiger. Is that what it is? Is it Timid Tiger? Boy, it's a new in color. And I still don't even, no, it can't be Timid Tiger, is it? I think it is. Let's look here. All right, it's actually not Timid Tiger. It is supposedly Golden Glow, but it's more towards the Timid Tiger stuff. So when I got it out, I did not think it looked like Timid Tiger or Golden Glow. But I think this is Golden Glow. I'm going to grab a sheet because I'm still not 100% convinced that it is. Now, Golden Glow is actually one of my favorite new colors that they've done. It's going to be so nice in the fall when we are trying to do things. It is. It's Golden Glow. And it does match perfectly. But when I was doing it, I thought this looks so autumny. It's pretty. So I added some glimmer. I don't know if you can even see that. Let me put my camera down lower, and then maybe you can see how it's glisteny, because that's why I got a little carried away with the dots. And I put Wink of Stella all over here because I wanted to lighten it up. It seemed just a little bit, for summer, it seemed a little dark. Anyway, so that's why I did this one. To make a different color, something totally different than the paper. And I loved how that turned out. So we will do this technique so you can see this card. But this card I'm going to do, instead of doing Pool Party and Peacock, Pretty Peacock like I have here, I'm going to do it with Peaceful Pine and I'll have to look at the green. I'm not sure. And then for this one, I just lightened it up. I took our old silver shimmer paint, actually, and I just painted the DSP. And it doesn't cover it up if you're careful and you kind of wipe a little bit and get some of it off. It turned out great. I really liked that. But I'm not going to do that technique because Stampin' Up is not selling that paint right now. I bought 3 sets, so I have tons of it. And I do love the foil because these dies are why I got the set in the first place, because I knew in foil the dies would be fabulous, and they are. Isn't that gorgeous? With just a little bit of gold or copper. That could be copper. I bet this is copper. Yeah, that looks like copper to me. Pretty, because it goes with that Golden Glow. And we're going to do this because we do still have the stripes embossing, and you can see the embossing without this whitish paint thing, but it just kind of pulls the colors better together with Pool Party. This is my Lily of the Valley paper because I wanted to put in some different colors. I didn't want it all to look like autumn. All right, so now let's try this today and see if I can get it right. You'll hear my washing machine going out back there. And that is not me today doing laundry. That is Jeff. Yes, Jeff, it took me, Jeff and I are going to celebrate our 40, I think it's 46 years. I'm not sure. Is it 46 or 43? I'd have to add it up to actually see. We have been married a long time, in other words. And so anyhow, it did take, Jeff has been doing his own laundry now. I think he was doing it before we moved here to Missouri. And he started doing it, I think, boy, I can't remember when. He's actually been doing his, maybe he started doing it when I went back to work. So that would be 20 years ago. It did take 20 years, but then he finally started doing his own law degree. He would have done it earlier if I just asked him to. You know, ladies, that is the one technique. Just find out the way your husband wants to hear the words and then just say them the way he wants to have them said, and be nice to him. You know, be very, very nice, and he's not going to give you any trouble at all. All right, now we are going to do, and that is pretty funny that I'm saying that. I know. I have only one of the nicest guys out there, so it's easy for me to say. We're going to do Peaceful Pine. And this is Pear Pizzazz. I just love Pear Pizzazz. I've never gotten rid of it. It's a very old color. We haven't had it for so long. We have so many other greens. But this Pear Pizzazz goes with everything. So I'm doing it with Peaceful Pine today instead of the peacock and the pool party. Okay? So first of all, I want to show you what it looks like when you do the embossing, because it is so cool, and I've got plenty of my paper here. Let's do it on a piece of Peaceful Pine. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just stick this in right here. Oh, wait, this is the old folder. I got this out because I wanted you to see how it looks so different. So that's our old pine one. This is, or fern one that came with the other set, wild ferns. This is the Fern and Flora one. See how it's bigger? But the reason I like this one better is these are very layered. All the leaves kind of are scrunched. They overlap each other. And it looks really good, but it's a little on the busy side. I like this one better because it has a fiddlehead fern. It has your more leafy type fern. It has your pinnate type, you know, multi-leaved, typical what we think of, usually the kind of leaf you think of when you see a fern. Okay, these other ones, these flat leaf ones, most people don't even think of them as ferns. This is more like the houseplant fern, both of these leaves. And there's space. There's plenty of space in between, and so you will see how that plays out. Also, since it's a big folder, you can turn it to get more of whatever kind of leaf you want. For me, I don't care. I do want the fiddlehead fern. I don't necessarily want it right in the center. I'm going to shove it up all the way to the top because I do want that fiddlehead fern in there. And I want to see it all really good, okay? So that is how I'm going to place it in the folder. Let me grab out my embossing things, and we'll get that embossed, and then I'm going to show you what I did to get it to pop out a little bit better, because you can see these really well, whether you are going to take this step or not, but it actually does help to you know, just see, especially if you've got other things going on your card. Now, I always forget what kind of sandwich I need. This is the basic, you know, platform that comes with your embossing machine. This is the standard embossing plate. Let's see if it goes through. Oh, it is. Good. Sometimes I have to work my sandwich a little different, but that one went through just fine. All right, so let's have a little peek. Oh boy, I can already see it looks wonderful. So pretty. All right, so this is the front. I had it upside down. So you can see that really well, but I'm going to show you in a minute why I am doing my chalk paint sort of thing on it. Let's get out the lovely stripes. This is also one that's available right now, but I want the stripes to be going vertical, not horizontal. So I'm going to turn it on its side. Do I want this sheet? Yeah, I do. I want the dark sheet. All right, so we're going to put that in. Now, stripes have to be straight. There is a line here, so I am going to position my card right on that line. I need it to be nice and straight, because this is the thing I often do, is forget that step, and then I get it out of the machine. I think, oh, my stripes are just off a little bit. I don't like that. So now the stripes are set, and let's see if this one will go right. I thought there was one that was like a little more. No, that one's good too. I don't know what. think it was doing one. These are all called 3D embossing folders, and I think it's the thinner ones I always have trouble with and have to come up with a different sandwich. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so we are done with the embossing. We'll do some cutting with the ferns maybe later, so you can see those wonderful dies, but I'm not going to worry about it yet. Right now, I want you to see how this looks when you just use a simple white pad. This is just our basic white pad, our white craft pad. And you can see the lines, sorta, kinda, sorta. So I'm just gonna do a scraping method. Normally I go across, but because I've got these here, I don't know, I'm a little scared. If it flubs up, then I want it to flub up more in the middle than on the end. So I'm gonna kind of drag it across here. A little bit in there is fine. Again, for me, because I don't mind the kind of shabby chic look. But if you don't like that, you're gonna have to be more careful about how you're doing it. All right, so that just brings out those lines really, really well, doesn't it? You can see them. And if you don't want that white in there, just take a little tissue or something, a little something. You can kind of, if you get it quick, you can kind of rub it off a little bit, but you're kind of stuck once it's on there. But that can kind of smooth it a little bit. Let's do the raised fern the same way. Now, I would normally probably use a paint on this because I would want those to stand out and be really super shiny. But I don't have, like I said, we're not selling that right at the moment, so I'm going to just use this, and it actually is going to give us a really nice soft effect. And then you can use this for summer, you could use it for fall, because ferns are, you know, typically an evergreen. If they're not in your zone, then that means you get real cold and they just disappear, but then they come right back. But in most zones, I think they're actually evergreen, and maybe not the flat leaf ones. But in Washington State, you know, it was a zone 6, which is pretty cold, and our evergreens stayed nice there. Sometimes they'd get a little brown, but most of the time they stayed really nice. Isn't that lovely? So you can see what you can do with just a little ink pad. And if I'd wanted them to be darker, I could have used a darker one, and that would have been really attractive too. So, oh, I have a new little white container here. Wonderful. So I can clean this mess off that I probably have made here. All right, and let me dry that off really well. And then we're gonna do one more thing and get going and finish out these cards. So for my, I need another piece of Peaceful Pine, because I actually just stamped with that on, well, blah, blah, blah. Having said that, now I'm thinking maybe I don't want to do Peaceful Pine. I really did like how the, I can't find it, I know it's in here. I really did like how the pretty peacock turned out. It turned out really nice, but I don't see a whole big sheet in here. A pretty peacock anyway. Oh, there's my pool party. I think Pool Party and Peaceful Pine would work too. So we're gonna just go with that. Okay, so we've got Pool Party and Peaceful Pine. It will work. It will work. It's pretty. So we'll put that on the side. We're gonna go ahead and then just use the stamps. Let me put my embossing folders over here on the side, where I can put those away later. And get out our stamps. Those are my old stamps. Here are my old fern dies. See, they just mostly cut out. There were some flat leaf ones, and they mostly just cut out the stamps. So I really wanted these dies. And oh man, you also get this label, which is nice when they give you a label. Now mine's kind of loose in here because I will be moving this to my regular label thing here very shortly, as soon as this set has gone into its retired status. you know, I already did paint this because I was anticipating making these on a live, so I painted this already in case I needed it. I'm gonna set it up here and then just make that card on my own, I suspect, but anyhow. Let me get out my card because I want to see what leaves I used. I'm sure I used those mostly for this effect, but I'm not so sure now. What did I use? Okay, I did not use the serrated ones so much. I used the flat one. Maybe I used my wild fern for it. No, I didn't. Well, anyway, we're going to use the Fern Flora. I'm not sure what fern I did use for this. Oh, wow. My brain. It's pretty large, but it's going to look good. We're going to use that one. And then there's this littler one. I don't want to use a flower one. There's flower stamps, and then there's these 2 fern stamps. And we're going to put these, to simplify this, we're going to do them together like that. Okay? I'm trying to see the background is really pretty. It's this stripe. This would be good with our vertical card, but not so much for what I'm going to do right now. And I think I'm going to be over stamping, so to prevent having to clean that again, I'm just going to put a piece of paper under here. Well, we'll use it like that. And then you're just using your white block. Now they sell the white ink separate, so you can just keep re-inking it. I do re-ink it fairly often. It kind of sometimes looks like to me it's sort of disappearing into my, oh, it didn't really go there. So we're gonna go ahead and overlap there. And I'm gonna be more careful about how I do this time. Let's do it like this and really press there this time. Oh, much better. Okay, and we're gonna get this one in here like so. Now let's do it this way. Okay. And just like that. Now it does stay wet a bit, so don't be rubbing it, you know, with your hand or anything. This white ink is very moist, and it is a little bit moist here anyway in Missouri, so just beware that when you push down on it, you're pushing on a spot that's not got ink. Okay, all right, let's do the little one, and then we'll be done. Right there, and that's perfect. Okay, so before I make a big smudgy mess, let me grab that up and get rid of it. And then you do want to clean this off pretty quick because you do not want this staying on your... I'm going to actually use my baby wipe to start it off. And then my Simply Chamois. Otherwise, it really gets all over there. And then I have to immediately go rinse off my Simply Chamois really quick. The Craft White is a slightly different kind of ink than what we normally do. It says it's pigment ink. I don't know if our other ink is actually called pigment ink or not. It might be. I really don't know. I'm not into finding out many details. I just know when I tried it, does it work? Great. If it doesn't, I don't care what it's called. It's just not something I will buy ever again. All right, that is that. And then we're going to use the dies that come with this set. Not my wild fern, but my Fern and Flora. Okay, so we'll put our wild fern down. Fern and Flora there. And then we're going to cut this one out. And this one out. And that fiddlehead fern one out. So cute. And then what I want my circle, my radiating circle dies. We're going to use radiating circles, and it's a very old one. And I lost one. And there's a frame one too. I wonder where that is. It's I must have it out already. Yes, I must. No, it's not. Huh, where did I put it? I know I was looking at it. Let's see. What is it called? Huh, that's funny. I'm going to clean up here because I suspect it's laying right here somewhere because I'm pretty sure I pulled it out already. And while I'm cleaning up all of my other items, I'll probably see it. Well, I'm not. So we're going to go ahead and cut and get this show going. Okay, so we want to cut this from the lighter color, and which is going to be my pool party. I need another piece because we're going to just use this for the whole card. Okay, since it's already cut 4 1/4 by 11, that's going to be perfect. Let's cut another piece. I can even get a scrap of my pool party here, and we'll just use that. For all of these little ferns. I think I'm only using 2. So that'll be, oh no, there's 3. That one, and that one, and that one. Okay, we'll move those up. Oh, I should have gotten the circle out. Well, we're going to get the circle out now anyway. That doesn't look like the right circle. I'm going to look at that again and see if that's correct. Come on, you can do it. This one did not want to release on that tip. I don't know why. And that one's hanging on to it. So the ones that are hanging on to it, let's get those out in a minute. Let's get the circle done. Let me see. Where did I put that? It's the bigger one, so it's not this one. It's the other, it's not radiating stitches. It's our Spotlight in Nature. It's that one. It's like the radiating. We just have more of them. So when this set retires, Spotlight in Nature is still available. And this is our old tea set one. I combine things, you know. So I've got a lot of circles. This is this and this and these and this are all part of Spotlight in Nature. These are separate. But we're going to use this circle. This is our traditional label type one. I use that size a lot. It's probably, I'm going to guess about 2 or 2.5 inches. I don't really know. I just eyeballed the one that I want. But I love those little radiating lines. They're really pretty. So I use this one a lot. And I just keep calling it radiating when that's the die I want, because the other ones have this really nice, almost a fleur-de-lis kind of thing going on there, and they're really cool. All right, this is from the Phrases and Frames dies, and I'm going to have to go on a little hunt for that because I don't see it laying out here. Phrases and Frames, where are you? So let's see where you went. I thought I had you out. I really want that one, that particular one. The other ones aren't going to do. So what did I do with you? This is what happens when I do stuff. And then I got my Halloween things out, and I'm gonna also need another piece. No, we're gonna need the darker one of Peaceful Pine. So let me grab another piece of Peaceful Pine. That's 5.5, but I'm gonna have to cut it. Let me grab another sheet of Peaceful Pine. And that will be good because I'm going to be using a lot of this, I suspect. It's a really good color. I'm really perplexed right now. That's why I'm sort of wandering around the room thinking, where in the world did I put those dies? Let me look here. I've got a section called frames, so let's see if I put it in there, but I didn't see it right off. So it's like, no, it can't be there. And then I keep the things that I use all the time right up front. Ah, is this it? Yes, wonderful. I just put it away like a ding dong. Now phrases and frames is all I've got in here because this is current. Look at these. These are easy to cut out. Sometimes if there's too many cutouts, I just get tired of the cleaning process. But this one doesn't do so much cutout as it does embossing. It's really beautiful. So first of all, let me pull this aside so that I can cut out just the size that we need. I'm going to cut it first at 5 1/2, and then I'll save this piece, and then we're going to turn it and cut this at 4 1/4, 4 1/4. Now I've got 2 of those to work with, and then we will just use one of these. Now I've got plenty of peaceful pine. And this one, I'm really happy. I think I've shown it to you before because I've been doing a lot with these phrases and frames. This is a really nice big one. It's very big, but it also, oh my goodness, it doesn't fit on that. I thought it did. Well, it's a good thing I saved this because I need the big one. Okay, so it actually fits in your standard card size really nice. But it's very, very big. But the thing I like about it the most is that I don't have to do a whole lot of weeding of the die. It's gonna pop right out of there. And then I have this nice little piece if I want it. I don't, but if I did, there you go. All right, so let's get this all together. So now let me pull out my container that I keep all of my little mess in. And then you can see this, because these are not going to pop out. It stays in one piece. So pretty. I love that. Now these, that one is fine, but these two are the ones that didn't come right out. So I do need to do those a bit, but there's not any little pieces hardly with them, so it does just pop out. There are some. So let me run my brush over that. And then you can see how those come right out. It's very delicate though. I mean, so pretty. You don't want to tear them out. You do want to poke your whole, puncher through there just so that it assists getting it out, because you don't want to tear those. They're really pretty. All right, then we're going to put the dies away and get this done. I need the sentiment, so I can't just set this aside. And you know what? Never do that. That's how dies get separated. Never just set them aside. I've done that before and then had to hunt all over and get my family to come and help me search the floor, because I'm sure I've probably lost it in half the time I have. All right, so there's these little bows that are so cute. I haven't even used that. There's always some things in a set that I never even get to, because there's usually so many things happening that it's like I don't even need that. It's so pretty. Now I do want to make sure you can see the lines, and I also wanted it lighter than my background, because I'm going to use that. I could use it on this one, and that actually would be very pretty, but I want to use it on this one. Okay, so we're going to be putting it like this. I was more careful with my other one to make sure I didn't stamp out of it, because I really wanted it all just on the inside, but it actually looks really good on the outside too. I'll think about that. There's a way to solve that problem if I want to have it different. But right now, I just want to lighten up this edge because I want it to be a slightly different looking than the Peaceful Pine that I've got stamped on. So I'm just going to use the same method, but very lightly. So what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to just lay it on here and just do a little light finger rubbing. And then you can get it on there as dark or as light as you want. Okay, so I'm kind of getting it darker in the corners. That is not intentional. I'm being kind of not all that careful. This is actually the lightest part that I wanted, but I'm gonna live with it. And if I need to cut out another one, that's fine. But I'm gonna just put a little more pressure here in the corners, and then we're getting just a little bit more ink in the corners there. Okay, it just is highlighting these lines a bit because they're so pretty. I love to be able to see those actual little leaves in there really well. All right, now you could take your blending brush or you could take a dauber. Our little finger daubers, and you can kind of smooth that out a bit if you don't want it to be quite so dark. It will rub it all over the whole thing. Okay, there we go. Or you could just redo it. We're gonna live with that. I am gonna think about maybe cutting off my edge or not. Let's see. It's really not necessary. It's pretty cute. All right, so now we're gonna just put the I have one of these already used up mostly. I wanted to use this up. There's not a lot of it left, and it's perfect for this purpose. So let's grab the edges of my dimensionals. Let's grab that and put it all on here. Will it work around a corner? Not really. You can see you can just tear through this stuff. It's not that hard to do. But this is going to get it down nice and straight and firm. Oops, that's on the edge. I'll need to get that one off. All right, very good. And then we're going to just lay it right on that card front. The only other thing that was a little tricky with this is just tying my little twine bow. Oh my goodness. I did it around the actual stems of the fern leaf, so it was a little tricky actually, as I recall. So what are you going to be doing for the 4th? Do you do your fireworks? We have, like I said, so many people on the street. Mostly not even on our street. We have some on our street, some on the street up above, but we have all over our whole neighborhood so many people who do fireworks that we just usually sit home and watch and make sure nothing catches fire. And it never does, but sometimes it's like, whoa, that's interesting. All right, now we're going to take our little pearl pool party. You know, I forgot I need a bigger pool party piece because I want the border to be outstanding a bit. This all pulls together a bit better. So let me grab another sheet of pool party, and we're going to cut this a little larger than our standard. So we're going to do, instead of it being 5 1/2, we're going to cut it at 5 3/4. And then instead of 4 1/4, we'll go 4 1/2. Okay, and then that's going to give me a nice little border all the way around, and then we'll glue that onto the back of this, just like that. Then that's going to pull my pool party color in really nicely. Okay. I'm not putting ribbon around anything, so I'm free to just put on the glue. There is a parade in the square, and because it's 250 years, I'm thinking This year we might get up, but I don't know. It's going to be really hot. We have a heat advisory here until Friday at 9 p.m. So Saturday morning, it could be really nice. I just don't know. We're going to find out. Oh, man, I keep losing things on the side here. Now what are we going to do? Let's see. Let's stamp our sentiment. If I can find my set again. So I used Sincere Thanks because I suddenly needed a whole lot of thank yous. And it's the right size because I want to fit my little fern leaf right in there. So we're going to just do Sincere Thanks. I used Pretty Peacock before, but since I'm using Peaceful Pine, I'm going to grab out the Peaceful Pine and color it with that. Oops, let's turn it up the right direction. Sincere Thanks right on the side. And I know it's going to show up really good on that light cardstock. And then there's a cute little butterfly in this set too. Super cute. So we'll grab that out. Or is this a moth? I see, this is actually a moth. So we're going to put the little moth right here on the side. And we've got some beautiful little shimmer dots. Oh my goodness, these shimmer dots are wonderful. Let me make sure all my dies are inside there. When you double stack like I'm doing, these get very full. I do, for some of these more full ones, I do have some bigger cases, and I need to get that out because I think that one, I almost lost some of my boardwalk and the roller coaster set that we had this last year, and yeah, there's so many little pieces in that, and I don't want any of them lost because they're great cards for my grandkids. Okay, so this guy's going to just go on here, and then we're going to take this one, we're going to put this underneath, this one's going to go on top like that, and then this is going to go right here on the bottom like that. Isn't that cute? And then our little dot right on the side. Now I did get I got some glisten here, but it's not from what you would think. It's just because I got too much glue on it. So I don't know. It's hard to use tape on these. They tend to tear. So tape's pretty rough. I have to use twine if I'm going to tie that stem. So let me grab a piece of twine. I've got it way over on the other side of my room. Don't I? No, I forgot. I moved all of my twines. Oh my goodness, I forgot. I moved them so that I don't have to go all the way over the edge of the room. I have to take down my pins. And I've got them all right in here, which is really handy. This is better than my little tree system I had before. So we've got all kinds of, and linen is always pretty. Since I'm doing green though, I could use green. Let's see what I think. Do I want that? No, I don't. So I think I am gonna just use this one. Gold would look really pretty too. Okay, I'm gonna get it. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna just use this bit. It might be a little bit short. Normally I do it pretty long just so that I can do this without difficulty. But I'm trying to tie these two together. They're not going to really tie together, so I think I'm gonna just, especially since it's so short, we're gonna just do a bow and glue it on there, okay? It's not gonna actually tie anything together. On my card, I did, but this is awfully short. I like doing double bows, but wow, you kind of need something a bit longer than this to do that. That's gonna work pretty good. Let me snip that apart. It's pretty good. That's going to work quite nicely. All right, let's put this down. We're gonna put this down first. We'll just do a bit of this little spot of glue on each leaf. This is the easy one to do. Okay, we're going to put it up on the frame some, right there. So it's kind of peeking out. And then we're going to put on dimensionals on the part. The frame is lifted already, so I'm going to put some glue on that, but we want dimensionals right here, just right in that corner. I'm going to look again to make sure I'm getting them in the right spot. I'm going to put 3 on here, right there in the center. All right, and then that goes right here. And then we're going to glue this. This is going to get glued on the label. And then I'm going to turn it a little so that I can get it to go the way I want it to. Well, maybe we'll just adjust a bit and do it like this. I'm going to glue it here and here, okay? So again, I'm just going to put little dots of glue. Make sure, especially since I'm gluing it right on this label, just little tiny bits. And you don't need it on every single leaf, but it's not going to hurt to do that, for sure. Definitely want it on the tips. But these leaves are pretty long, and they do tend to kind of go all over the place, so do that, like right there. Okay, now we've got that all on there, really good. And now we can put our little fiddlehead one on. Same way, it's going to glue here. It's not going to glue here, but we can put a mini dot on this one because it doesn't actually show through. Now, if you're using a darker cardstock for the fiddlehead, you might want to use a black Stampin' Up dot. But for this pool party, we'll use white for it, and it won't show. My ink is still kind of wet, so every time I touch something, it sort of wants to release the adhesive because I'm getting stuff on it. All right, so just this bit right here. All right, like that. Okay, and then we can put a glue dot on here, and we'll get a clip to stick that on. I put a pretty good amount of glue. You could use actually a glue dot, but I find that a big glob of glue just works a lot better. So I'm gonna do a big glob of glue and then clip it to hold that on there. And we've got, I love these. These are so pretty. Too shimmery though. Let's find the lighter ones. Now we do have some really nice things coming out today, in fact. Oh, look at these buttons. They shimmer. This is with our Christmas stuff. And these are our Halloween things. I'm so excited about showing all this stuff to you. So pretty. And these, oh, so pretty. But this is the paper, or the dots I'm actually using today. These are the in color dots. That's all they're called, 20, 26, 28 dots. They're really nice. These are the Peaceful Pine ones. I'm gonna put a little tiny one right here. It matches my nail, my little moth. I think I might put a couple over here too. I didn't feel like it really needed it before, but now I'm thinking, I think I'd kind of like maybe some more of these dots. I love these dots. They're too cute. Pretty. You can't ever have too many dots. Now 4, not enough. You have to have 5. Where can I put a 5th one? Like there. Nah, not gonna happen. Doesn't really quite look good, so we're gonna go with 4. It's the odd color. Normally you would do an odd, not an even. Now you would want to cut your cardstock again, remember, a little bit whiter to get that all on there. Let's move along to my stripe. So with your stripe, the reason I did a stripe was so that I could use this Lily of the Valley paper, but it's not I had it with Pool Party. It doesn't look so good with this, does it? Because this is more of an olive green. I could use my Pool Party, or I can use my painted one. That actually turned out really nice. So I think I'm going to just use my painted one. Put that on there. You can see my paint splotched a little bit there. You could matte it if you wanted to with something else. Make sure you're showing your stripe on the side there. Okay. And then with this one, I did another stripe. I did my Pool Party with a little piece to get the stripe effect going, and use this, which won't work with this. Okay, so I would change up this whole thing, I believe, and it might not be bad to just cut a die from this sheet and use it on here. I think that would be quite nice. The problem with it is that I've already embossed and done everything. So when I run it through the embosser to cut a circle or something out, I'm also going to have to emboss in my my embossing folder again, just to get these leaves to really pop up. So I mean, these are just the issues you face when you want to do certain things. Or I can cut it. Okay, so if I don't want it like today, I'm trying to get this card finished. So today is probably not the day that I'm going to want to, have to do re-embossing and things. So figure out what part you like the best. I'm actually thinking this is pretty nice. So I'm just going to cut that and see. I do like that, but I like this better. And then fit it on here however you want. You can do a lot or a little. Just get it perfect however you want it. And then that is going to make a really nice little background for your words. I think I'm going to pull off just a bit more. In fact, no more than that. You can tear it. Tearing, when you tear to get that effect. Now, I don't want to do it because I've got nice straight stripes. But let me maybe do this one. When you tear paper to make it look a little bit raggedy, tear towards you. It is going to give you that torn edge better. Okay, can you see that? I don't know if you really can. You want to see the roughness of the paper. Okay, like this. And you also want to be able to tear around the corners and make them a little bit round. If you tear your paper down away from you, it does give you that roughness, but much less. This way I can get a whole bunch of that. And that actually is a really cool effect to do. But because I'm doing stripes on this, I want this to be much cleaner and nicer. So let me grab my scissors and get rid of my excess here. And then pick a spot that you want to cut. Yeah, I'm still thinking it's pretty good. I kind of like, kind of not. I think that way. I think that way's best. And let me find the last of my dimensionals. This is like always one of the things. It's like, oh, sweet. I'm using up another dimensional sheet because I keep these for a long time. They actually last a long time for me. I can cut them. So because they last a long time, one sheet is kind of like, oh, success. I accomplished a lot getting rid of one whole sheet of dimensionals. All right. Oops. Now, one year we went to the baseball game. That was super fun because they have fireworks at the end. Now, this year, I think because it is 250, all the outdoor fireworks are going to be so cool. So the baseball game one's going to be really cool. It's this year they're calling it Fans on the Field Patriotic Fireworks. I think they always call it that, but I don't know. Anyway, it's in Route 66, or excuse me, Jeff always corrects me, Route 66 Stadium. He just does things like that just to get me to laugh. And then in Republic, which is really close to us, they are having a big celebration too with fireworks. And I meant to get over there quite a lot because I think it would be really cool. You know, I really thought I was going to use this today, but didn't end up doing so. That is okay. And I do believe I might even have a label. If I can find one handy, I could probably use it. Let's see where they are. I think I have them right beside me. I keep cleaning things. Every time I clean things, I lose my places where things are just laid real quickly and easily for me to find. So I thought I had a label handy, but I cleaned. We had company, and so the whole basement needed to be cleaned thoroughly. And I was already cleaning anyway, so I went through and cleaned a whole bunch. Okay, so no label. Let's grab a white, basic white. Oh wait, here's some. Let's try this one. I've got two. This is from our new Halloween set, and I'd already cut two of these out. Let's see if we want this. This actually would look quite nice. A little flag, you know? Nah, too small. This isn't bad. I'm not sure that I really like it. I tend to like circles, but this is gonna be fine. I do think I might want to sponge it or something though. It seems so white. I don't know. I think we're gonna just go with a blue. We're gonna go with our my scrap of pine, and let's do a circle. Will that work? No, it won't. I'm really perplexed here because I kind of want silver. I want this paper. That is actually what I kind of want. Let's look at you and see if I just want to do white with it. I think I do. This is going to be a little tricky, okay? So forgive me if it doesn't turn out, because what's going to happen is I'm going to just make this a little bit lighter in color. I could go into my stash and probably find something, but instead I am going to just lighten this up and stamp on it. But because it's already going to have ink on it, the stamping on it might have a little bit of trouble. We're going to find out. Okay, I just need this to be light enough to see really well on it. Plus, I need it to be dry. It's pretty damp right now. Now, one other thing you can do if you are into vintagey look is you can crumple this. And it actually looks really good, especially now that I've dampened it up some. I could crumple it, but I'm going to stamp on it. And crumpled doesn't stamp well. So we will not crumple this one. But crumpling is actually something pretty neat. I might do that on another day. All right, you make the world a better place. Oh, awesome. I like that. You're an amazing friend is really good too. Maybe I'll do that because this is actually turning out quite nice. So I'm going to use this background stamp so that we can see what it looks like. I haven't even used this one yet. So let's grab out my Peaceful Pine again. And this will give me a good idea of how dark this is going to show up here. Do we want cross lines or up and down lines? Maybe we don't want lines at all. I think I'm going to do this here. And then we're going to see how dark that looks. Because I don't know about that. Let's go across like this. And that's better. So stamped off and then on there is not going to be bad. Make sure you get, if again, any of that craft white stuff is on there, you want that off. And then you make the world a better place. You are an amazing friend. With you, you are an amazing friend. This actually has two nice moths. There's a bigger one on there too that you can use. Okay, so I did it like at an angle, and I think that's gonna look good in a circle. So we'll try it and see. All right, so you have learned a few. If you haven't tried these techniques before, you probably learned a few. There's so many things you can do if you just play with your stamps. Just give yourself permission to have fun with it. If it doesn't turn out, just throw it away. It's no big deal. Throw it away, try again. You've learned something. That's the process, and this is supposed to be fun. Anytime it ceases to be fun, you want to quit, for sure. All right, where are you, Spotlight in Nature? There you are. So we'll try, again, our radiating size. Might need the bigger one this time. Let's check it out. Let's see. Aha, yeah, I do think the bigger one's gonna look really good. Right there, or there. We've got this one, that's too small. I don't know, that is almost the right size, but we're gonna have to go with this bigger one. Now I'm gonna just do this really quick over here on the side. You've already seen a whole lot of things cut out, so I don't think you need to watch me cut that circle out. It's not that exciting. It's also not that difficult. Anybody can do it. Now I did, because I had craft white on there, I am gonna need to get my, that plate, scrub it good, just to make sure, because I don't want any white transferring to other things. So that's the only thing to remember when you're working with that craft white paint ink, is that it's kind of damp, it's kind of messy, it's a little humid here anyway, so it definitely can be a challenge. I'm thinking and we can do it this way too, you know? Like so many ways you can do it. I actually think I might like it quite like that. I don't know. Usually I like it on the corner, but I like this one. So I just did my corner in the wrong spot, I think is what I did. Oh, that's it. That's perfect right there. All right, so now we're gonna put on my dimensionals. Did I drop them? I see my minis. I'm sure I dropped it. I'll get out a new one. This is why I lose, it takes so long, is I lose one as I'm working, and then I just start another one. All right, that's so funny. That is exactly why. I was thinking as I was talking before, why does it actually take me so long? Well, that is exactly why. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, you know what? The neatest place, and we haven't been there yet, to probably celebrate the 4th, we haven't been there yet, is the Big Cedar Lodge area up on Table Rock Lake. Oh man, it sounds like this year it is going to be really spectacular. And yeah, we haven't done it, and we need to. We've been told by so many people to go up there. All right, I'm loving that. That looks really cute. It does need some ribbon, right? Doesn't it need ribbon? I think so. You know, I bet we have a shimmery pink ribbon that would be really nice. Let me have a little peek at what we've got. I know I've got all of the colors, but I'm not seeing a shimmery pink. I know I have a shimmery pink. Where is it? Ah, I see my shimmery pink. Very pretty. All right, so this shimmery pink should be perfect. Just to bring in that one other color. It's too fat. I want thin. What else do I have? I've got this twine that's a shimmery pink. That's actually almost a peach. But I think that's going to work. I think I like the twine better than the ribbon. In fact, a lot of times I use twine instead of ribbon. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. I think it's just because I don't usually make cards bigger than this. If I was doing a 5x7 card, if I did more of those, I think I would use more ribbon. So what I'm gonna do is, since I didn't do too much, I don't know, let's give it a go. Let's see how much ribbon I'll have if I do this. Like that, and that, and that. That's quite a bit. I think I can get a good bow there. Wrapping it a few times. There we go. Very pretty. I actually really like double bows. So I'm going with a double bow. Those are my favorite. If I've cut off enough to do a double bow, we will do a double bow. There we go. Just like that. When you've got a little glue on your fingers, sometimes it actually can help stick that better. My bows. Freddie, if you're with me there, it's so bad still. Okay, like which one? This one, I hope, because that's the one I'm clipping. And then you can kind of adjust it gently to where you want it. There you go. I think the other ribbon would have been the right color. I'm not done with this. I'm going to play with this one. You'll see it on Pinterest later. All right, so I'm not going to make the actual card base for these. I do keep them done on the side. Like this one isn't big enough because remember I made it a bit larger. So I would need to cut another one, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and let you imagine the base card. But these are the ones we did today. And I think that was it actually, but we got a bunch done. It was super fun. Love this set. It is wonderful. Fern and Flora. So you have a wonderful 4th of July, and I will see you next week. Bye.